Caitlin Clark's the new it. If you don't have a long ball, talking about the 26, 30 feet, if you ain't doing the Steph Curry, if you ain't got none of that long ball in your game, yeah, you're gonna be behind.
She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis. There's a lot of girls in WNBA that have done it in spurts, but that game I'm watching y'all in the Final Four, I'm like, damn, and I was a hater because, I'm down. She was like, she's not going to hit that shot, and bam, like, damn.
Even casual fans know it by now. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's rewriting the script of the sport itself. She's a comet blazing across arenas, leaving even NBA legends stunned into silence. The WNBA has never felt this kind of jolt, this electricity that makes every game a spectacle. And just when you thought her story couldn't climb higher, it did. Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, finally broke his silence. And when MJ speaks, the world doesn't just listen, it trembles. His words on Caitlin didn't just spark headlines, they shook the very ground beneath basketball. But the thunder didn't stop there. Hall of Famer Rick Barry, never one to sugarcoat, stepped forward. He didn't just defend Caitlin, he detonated the narrative, exposing jealousy, calling out the hate, and turning the mirror back on her critics. Barry's words weren't polite, they were a warning shot. To him, Caitlin Clark doesn't merely deserve respect, she commands it. And with Jordan and Barry standing behind her, everything about the game just shifted.
I think it's reprehensible what they're allowing some of these players. Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that.
But the storm was only beginning. George Gervin, the Iceman himself, entered with a voice so sharp it froze the debate in its tracks. He didn't dance around the truth. He struck it head-on, declaring that the disrespect aimed at Caitlin had gone too far. Her talent, he reminded the world, isn't something you chip away at, it's something you revere. His words cut like cold steel, silencing the noise and reminding everyone that greatness doesn't need permission to exist, it demands recognition. And Gervin took it further. His statement wasn't just about Caitlin's game, it was about legacy. He made it clear her rise isn't a trend, it's a transformation that will outlast this moment. The Iceman's defense sent a chilling message. Caitlin Clark's greatness is not temporary, it's permanent. And if you think only the polished legends had something to say, wait until you hear the raw, unfiltered truth that came next.
You don't know the value that she's bringing for all of them. She bringing, they flying private planes now. They went flying private before she came. They on major networks now. They weren't doing that. See, she remind me of Tiger Woods for golf.
Yes.
Sometimes the most honest words don't come from the faces on TV. They come from the players who've lived the grind and no longer care about polishing their image. Enter Jeff Teague, NBA champion, former All-Star, a guard who spent more than a decade seeing the game from the inside. Now retired, he isn't chasing headlines, which made his words land with even greater weight. And he didn't hold back. Teague ripped off the mask, openly slamming the WNBA for fumbling Caitlin Clark's entrance into the league. With a massive fan base behind her, she should have been their golden opportunity, but instead, the welcome was cold, even hostile. Teague didn't hide behind polite phrasing. He went for the jugular. The WNBA had mishandled one of the biggest moments in its history. And just when you thought he might stop there, he pushed further, into territory that threatened the very business model of the league itself.
Like, they played this all wrong, bro.
Terribly, bro.
They was supposed to gas this shit. This is why people don't watch this shit when y'all leave college. Women's sports, because y'all hating on the best thing that's gonna happen to the W.
Yes, Teague's words were raw, maybe even blunt, but at their core, they rang true. 4 years, debates about pay gaps and WNBA growth echoed endlessly with little progress to show. Then Caitlin arrived, and everything shifted. Fans poured in, ratings exploded, merchandise sales skyrocketed. Yet in spite of that, her reception was cold, even hostile. Teague didn't just note the problem, he rang the alarm bells. Treating Caitlin that way wasn't only unjust, it was financially reckless. And that's when another voice entered the arena. Paul Pierce, the Celtics legend, a 10-time All-Star with a history of sharp words, added his own layer of controversy. Early in her rookie season, he cast doubt on Caitlin, with comments that stirred uncomfortable undertones of race. Though he's since softened his stance, reluctantly giving her credit as her season unfolded, Pierce's most revealing moment came later, when Caitlin was shockingly left off the U.S. Olympic roster. That's when Pierce showed his true hand.
You claim you want the women's game to grow, and then you keep the most popular girl in women's basketball off the team. How do you grow internationally and domestically if you don't put her on the U.S. team? It just makes the most sense. Sometimes you have to say, hey guys, this is bigger than the game.
On the surface, Pierce's comments seemed like praise. He insisted Caitlin should have been on Team USA, arguing that her presence alone could have boosted the sport worldwide. But beneath that polished surface lurked a different message. His tone implied she was more valuable as a marketing tool than as a player, that she hadn't yet earned her place on skill alone. It was a backhanded compliment, a subtle jab wrapped in support. But before the dust could even settle, a bombshell landed. Shaquille O'Neal, the big diesel, stepped straight into the fire. And he didn't choose a neutral setting. No, he walked into the lion's den, Angel Reese's podcast, hosted by Caitlin's fiercest rival. And right there, in the middle of enemy territory, Shaq unleashed praise so thunderous it froze the room. The air shifted. The audience gasped. An NBA giant had made his stance clear. But what made this moment even more explosive, Shaq wasn't done.
I was a hater because, I'm down. She was like, she's not going to hit that shot. And bam, like, damn, she's not going to hit that shot. Man, like, if I say 10 times you're not going to hit the shot and you hit the shot, that means you're the truth. So I'm telling you now, if you just lower it like this.
Caitlin's exclusion from Team USA felt like a dagger. Fans raged. The media debated. Critics cheered. But one voice flipped the entire script. Dwight Howard, the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, offered a perspective no one saw coming. He argued that what looked like a setback could actually be Caitlin's secret weapon. Instead of wasting time on the bench in Paris, Howard said she'd sharpen her skills, come back refreshed, and unleash a storm on the WNBA in the second half. At the time, his words sounded bold, almost prophetic. But as the season unfolded, they started to feel eerie, almost like he had glimpsed the future. While others saw humiliation, Howard saw opportunity. And with Caitlin Clark, opportunity has always meant domination. But this was not the final twist in her saga, because the next legend to weigh in had a perspective that went far beyond the court.
Is a great player, but it's a lot of players that, no lie, who, as far as basketball-wise, they have the edge over her of why they should be playing in the Olympics right now. Mind you, this should motivate her. This should make her go harder in the gym. The 3 weeks that they off, she should get in better.
When Caitlin returned after the Olympic break, it was like watching a different player. No, a different force of nature. The fire in her eyes, the rhythm in her step, the way she controlled the floor with absolute authority. Whether it was the sting of rejection or the clarity of time away, she came back burning brighter than ever. And Dwight Howard's prediction? It rang true with every possession. Had she gone to Paris, she might have sat on the bench, risked injury, or been forgotten. Instead, she rewrote her own story on her own terms. But Caitlin Clark's journey has never been just about the present, it's about the bigger picture. And that's when Hall of Fame point guard Isaiah Thomas entered the debate. Known for his sharp mind, Isaiah praised Caitlin with genuine respect, yet laced his words with one unsettling twist. A thought that left fans leaning forward, holding their breath, desperate to hear what he really meant.
It's great what she's done, and I think it's great what the media and the WNBA and marketing and the players are doing because, controversy is not good, but, controversy sells.
Thomas pulled off something remarkable. He managed to hand out compliments while exposing the dirty underbelly of Caitlin Clark's treatment in just one sentence. Everyone knows drama sells, and when Caitlin first entered the league, the media had every reason to cash in by turning her into the center of chaos. Isaiah sees it clearly, but wisely avoids fueling the very storm he's describing. Caitlin has already built an unshakable grassroots following in Indianapolis, yet she still isn't placed on the same pedestal as the city's legends. At the top of that list stands Reggie Miller, the cold-blooded assassin from three-point range who wore number 31 for all 18 seasons with the Pacers. Logic says Miller would embrace Caitlin as the new savior of Indiana basketball, but instead, he flipped the script, warning that every rookie must first survive adversity. And that's where things take a turn.
Did you expect was going to happen to her? Number one, I don't think it's jealousy. Oh my God, she's getting all the endorsements. We're going to go after her. You're playing at the highest level. You're playing in the WNBA. You're coming from college and you're going to the pro ranks, right? What did she expect was going to happen? Why are people so shocked, right? You're playing against grown women. The same thing happened to us.
Reggie's words carry the weight of an era where the NBA thrived on bruises, elbows, and sheer toughness. But Caitlin Clark's reality goes far beyond competitive fouls. She's facing hostility that feels designed to break her. Of course, no rookie should expect a red carpet welcome, but what Caitlin has endured is different. It's not about proving she belongs. It's about whether she'll be allowed to stand tall against relentless resistance. That's why Magic Johnson's voice here is so critical. As co-owner of the Los Angeles Sparks, he's watching closely, just as he once commanded the NBA with 5 championships to his name. And when Magic speaks about Caitlin Clark, it's not just analysis, it's a warning about the future of the league.
Now, Caitlin, her teammates got to come to her defense.
Sure.
You can't allow her to have to fight every battle, right? But we have to understand that both Caitlin, Angel, and Brink, who plays for my Sparks, they made the WNBA better. And they're going to be tested by these incredible women who've been in the league for a long time. Caitlin is the most popular WNBA player, but she's not the best at this time. Just like Larry and I were not the best when we entered the league. We became the best.
Magic compared Caitlin's arrival to his own legendary rivalry with Larry Bird, the very feud that resurrected the NBA in the late 70s and 80s. His message was clear. Young stars need patience, support, and belief from their teams before they can carry the weight of the sport. In his usual fashion, he spread praise across the board without diving into the ugliness. But beneath the diplomacy was a truth impossible to ignore. Magic holds Caitlin in the highest regard, even as an NBA legend with ties to rival franchises. Not everyone from that golden era, however, shares his polished restraint. Enter Charles Barkley, the bruising forward turned outspoken media giant, who refuses to bite his tongue when it comes to Caitlin Clark. And what he said left the basketball world buzzing.
The thing I love about her, she never says a word. And now, when I watch her, 2 things I like. She's playing much faster. She was playing too slow the first half of the season.
From the
first of
college
all,
season.
They didn't even give her the understanding, like, you girls been worded for the WNBA season. Y'all been working out on the nose. She came straight out of college.
Barkley zeroed in on what many overlooked. Fatigue may have slowed Caitlin's spark early in the season, but lately, her energy has returned with a vengeance. More burst in transition, more points on the board, and more opportunities for her teammates to shine. Yet Barkley didn't stop at her performance. He turned his sharp criticism toward Caitlin's treatment by her peers in the WNBA. And this time, he didn't pull punches. His words sliced through the noise, calling out those who crossed the line. But what Barkley revealed next pointed fingers, somewhere even bigger.
Women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world. Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes.
Behind the laughs and the trademark Barkley humor lay a harsh truth. Competition is natural, but petty malice is poison. And Caitlin Clark has been on the receiving end of hits that had nothing to do with basketball. Fans may argue that her presence should be celebrated, not punished. But Barkley believes the real culprits aren't just the players. They're the ones shaping the narrative from the shadows. The media. And once Barkley said it, the spotlight shifted in an entirely new direction.
Cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit. This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here?
Barkley's frustration was undeniable, and for good reason. The WNBA is quick to market Caitlin Clark as its cash cow, yet it fails to protect her from dangerous fouls or position her as the face of the league's future. Part of it is corporate hesitation, waiting to see how the season unfolds. But another part reeks of something far more personal, an undercurrent of dislike from key voices in the media. Then came the bombshell. Michael Jordan himself finally broke his silence, and he didn't hold back. He declared the league owes Caitlin for what she's already done, demanded officiating reforms, and sent a message that could not be ignored. It's time to respect Caitlin Clark. And just as the echoes of his words settled, another giant stepped forward, Steph Curry.
Somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot is like that. It's at that level. If you really watch, like, her floor game is as impressive. So it's kind of the total package, and her being the French breaking that record and the amount of attention that she has gained over the course of these last couple of years. Every building she goes into, there's a different energy. Like, it's great for her, great for women's basketball.
Steph has been compared to Caitlin since her college days, and the similarities are undeniable. The range, the lightning release, the way they turn games into spectacles. But Steph reminded everyone of a deeper truth. To truly be like Curry, you need more than a deadly three-pointer. You must elevate your team, control the pace, and dominate even without the ball. And Steph sees that spark in Caitlin. He even faced the WNBA in a historic three-point showdown and came out on top. But the thought of Caitlin eventually stepping up to face her idol has fans salivating. She hasn't said yes yet, but all signs point to destiny waiting. Until then, Caitlin might find her strongest ally in another Titan, the warrior known as Kevin Garnett.
The clock go through shit. I'm watching all, man, rookies, you're gonna go through some shit. And guess what? When you're it, when you got the bullseye on your back, when you it, it's gonna come with some shit. And nobody's hitting y'all with the step back in the high. Yeah, it's a compliment. Yeah, you
Kevin Garnett, the bruises and taunts aren't abuse, they're a rite of passage. The great ones must first survive the fire before they can wield it. In his eyes, the attention Caitlin commands is proof of her greatness, not a punishment. She should embrace it, flow with it, and let it forge her into a champion. His perspective might not be universal, but one thing is certain, the legend of Caitlin Clark is no longer just about a rookie season. The greatest names in basketball are watching, rooting, and warning. They know her rise could rewrite record books, reshape the business of a sport, and ignite a revolution in women's basketball. The only question is, how far will she take it?